Former Labour Minister Membathisi Mdladlana has been remembered for the contribution he made in the formulation and enforcing of the labour laws in the country's post-democracy. Mdladlana served for 10 years as the Minister of Labour and was the first president of the South African Democratic Teachers Union and also leader of Cosatu. He took over the baton from the late Tito Mboweni, who was laid to rest this past weekend. Cosatu's Matthew Parks says he was impeccably principled and despised corruption.
He took the baton from Tito Mboweni as Minister of Labour in 1998. During Tito's time, most of the progressive labour laws were put into place. The Labour Relations Act governing the right to form trade unions, to collective bargaining, to dismissal procedures, etc. The basic conditional employment covering, overtime pay, maternity pay, etc. Occupational health and safety, employment equity, skill development, and so forth. So Mdladlana took over that baton. He really then ramped up the focus towards implementation, because it's one thing to have a law, a beautiful law on English, on paper. To implement is very difficult. And so, you're coming from 1998, it was not that long into democracy. So you're coming quite recently fresh from the party era when workers were treated a little better than slaves. So to kind of build the capacity of the Department of Labour to conduct inspections, to build a sense of compliance by employers, that's what his major focus was. But also because, laws are not stagnant. They do need to be amended from time to time to address those who might fall through the cracks or to address gaps that have been encountered during implementation. So he did do that, and they played a key role, because your domestic workers, your farm workers, your workers in the hospitality, the retail sector, restaurants, construction, are very vulnerable. And so, he made amendments to them to make sure that domestic workers are covered. That's a huge chunk of the economy. That's 900,000 workers, heavily exploited. To cover them, if, for example, you lose your job, which often domestic and other vulnerable workers are really vulnerable to do all the time, but they are covered for unemployment insurance. That's a major achievement.